Hello, my lovely friends, beautiful souls, and even some of you poor souls that need some help. You guys are here to unlock your magic. This is Magic with Melly, so I'm only here to try and help or inspire you through means of card readings or crystal healing, or even just simply being myself and sharing my energy. I hope that something about our time together does something for you. And I'm so glad you're here. This reading is all about karmic situations. It's all about our placements with karma, our placements with how to handle the karma, how to, focus and get through it and kind of open up our abundance, open up what's good for us. We want the chaos to end. At least we want it to be minimized. When things go south, we don't want them to go that south. And what I mean by south is just when something comes up and has to go down, but it's like we don't want to go down to even lower lows or anything like that. We want our highs to stay high and our lows to not be as low. And kind of imagine like a chart where you're like this and then suddenly you're on like a new wavelength and you're vibing higher. So that's my intent today. I have some sage burning to make sure that the energy is clean in this space. So I love that for you guys. Is really validating for you guys to see that I'm saging. I do regularly sage my spaces, but you guys don't always see everything that's happening in the background. So there's that. If you needed to see that there is sage that to clear any previous energies or any energies that would be just unwanted, anything that we just don't want in our reading, I disallow it. So it's not welcome here. We do not want any evil or any weapons of evil to be formed against us. They shall not prevail or survive. We will persevere. Okay, so this reading is for the highest good of the collective. Not all messages will resonate directly. Realize that this is a collective message and there's going to be messages for you, and then the same messages that work for you are going to work for another, but sometimes a message that works for one doesn't work for another. So just make sure that you are piecing your puzzle according to yourself. Don't make anything fit that doesn't fit. Allow this to validate your intuition rather than work against your intuition. It's a collaborative work. So if you feel like there may be something missing as far as, maybe you need more, see where you need to open up. Do you need to open up to a personal reading? Do you need to open up to the situation at hand? Whatever it is, use your discernment, your own judgment, and you are the leader of your own life. You're the liver of your life. So whatever you do, make sure you're navigating out of the best placements within your heart. Okay, so let's talk about what's out, what you guys are seeing. I have pre-shuffled oracles, just a few of them. I have 2 other oracles I want to shuffle live. I feel it would be validating to shuffle these ones specifically live. And then also I have a tarot deck out. Let's talk about the Giant Rider-Waite. So we have 10 of Pentacles out. I think, this card is highly giving me vibes of wanting to ground. There's a lot in regards to financial security, emotional security that we're attempting to try and unlock. The reason why this card is out, actually, the way that this card had showed itself is actually I intuitively placed I intuitively drew from the middle of the deck, anywhere in the middle of the deck, and it was this card. Okay, and so what I'm finding that intuitively to mean is that this isn't revealed or isn't there for you yet, but this is our goal. Our 10 of Pentacles is our goal. We want to feel safe. 6 of Swords. We want to feel safe. We want to feel secure. We want to feel the commitment or the energy that we would like in our situations, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a career, whether it's your family, whether it's your friends, wherever your placements are with that, you just want to feel safer. I think that's just the overall energy here. But something about the rest of these cards I'm about to show you, just it high key, a lot of karmic situations have a third energy in it, or some sort of thing in the middle, or like a compounding of energy, like maybe the initial connection, the initial base of importance, maybe the situation couldn't be handled, so then it was projected onto something else, whether it be a person, a building, like literally a place. It could be a situation in general, like maybe there's more than one situations, because there could be multiple things that get in the middle. Okay, but we have the Queen of Wands. So some of you are dealing with a Queen of Wands, or you are the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is high fiery energy. So you may be a fire sign, or dealing with a fire sign in sun, moon, rising, or Venus placements. Venus would be romantic placements. And what came as it just when this card popped out, it's the King of Wands, literally the Queen of Wands counterpart. This energy had me smiling when it popped out. I shrieked. I was so excited for you guys to see the counterparts come out so close around one another, and the Chariot card. So a lot of you are really just ready to move forward past your karma, past your third-party energies, past like letting any obstacles get in the way between you and your person, you and your goals, you and your work life, like whatever you're grounding. There's just an issue here with things actually settling down. It just feels like there's so much up in the air all the time. You don't know what seeds are gonna plant and be nourished and grow, and you don't know what seeds are gonna just like not take off. Because it is all about, your manifesting is all about planting seeds in the areas that maybe suit you or attract you or call you in some sort of way. And so with some of these third-party energies, or the seeds not being flourishing, or doing things are just not going as planned or as expected or as you wished, like just things are not so it's just wherever you are in your situation, you're just not completely fulfilled or as happy as you feel you could be. And that's all right. Like that's a beautiful thing with abundance. There's always the desire for more. But perhaps your message is falling into gratitude with what has occurred so far, about what you do have right now up to now. You can always want more. You can always want, but equally so, you could always be gratitude. You could always be thankful of the lessons up till now and the things that you have that generated how you feel right now. I think that a little bit of where we're at is maybe a lack mindset. That perhaps you believe that whatever you want isn't already in your life, or isn't already on its way to you. Let's tap in this more. I'm gonna keep this 10 of Pentacles out behind the Chariot card and pop that up right there. So this is for later, the pre-shuffled oracles. Right now, I'm gonna get into the archetype cards and the karmic situations cards. These cards are going to be adding to, if you haven't already felt validated reading the Giant Rider-Waite, perhaps this will be more validation. Maybe these will be more messages. After these, we will get into tarot and storyboard what's occurring, and then leave on advice with the pre-shuffled oracles. So hopefully we will be coming into an alignment with grounding and pushing ourselves out of bad karma and into good karma, which you know, it's easily graspable by just saying good and bad karma, but good karma is actually labeled dharma. And so if you have an accumulation of good, then you will be receiving dharma. If you have an accumulation of bad, you will be receiving karma. And a lot of individuals receive a little bit of both. But if you really place your focus on your lessons, you could really expand on having good karma. Or if you don't listen to your lessons, you'll have a big expanse on bad karma. Some people really see it really bad. Sometimes there's a long delay of seeing a karmic situation all the way through to full cycle. And that would be maybe someone keeps lying repeatedly, and that person keeps lying, and then the person that is who they're lying to is continually accepting the situation. So the karma can't play until the separation occurs. Maybe one person lies and it creates another liar, and it's like then you guys continue in a lying cycle. And until one individual breaks or both individual breaks from this cycle, the karma doesn't get pushed to the proper placements because there's a delay just based off of choices. Maybe karma hits immediately. Sometimes karma it takes maybe weeks, months, years for karma to strike. But I was just channeling a message. It may be because you're still holding revenge and resentment and targeting. And so the reason why you're not seeing the karma that you think another person deserves is because you have that in your heart and it's just compounding onto you rather than compounding onto the person where the placement is warranted. Some people don't have as much karma accumulation as you see and believe because maybe somewhere else in their life it balanced out, or somewhere else in your life it balanced out. So again, you need to realize that your actions stay with you. Even if you intended an action on somebody else, the universe is bigger. Like the whole way this works is bigger than you. So you're out here playing God, thinking you're doing God's work, saying this person deserves what I'm doing to them. The hell they don't. You deserve what you're doing to them, actually. And so as long as you're continuing in this cycle, you're going to be adding to your karma, delaying your karma, and then when you finally learn your lesson, it's going to hit the fucking hardest. So some of you need to fucking learn from your mistakes, learn from when you do someone dirty. When you're doing someone dirty, how long do you think you're going to get away with it? Really, if you think that person's not seeing it, you think that God or source, your angels, your ancestors, you're disrespecting the hell out of your ancestors if you are the people who send out ill intentions on another. It's sickening. It's disgusting. So this is your warning if you're that. But if you're on the other end of things, just kind of, how do I release somebody who has so much karma, it's leaking on me? Some of you are in that too. It's not always like the duality polarity where it's like black and white. Sometimes there's all this mess in between, right? And so we need to really figure out our placements, figure out our focus, figure out what's really happening in our situations. Realize I'm trying to read for as many people as possible. So take in what's yours and leave what's not yours. So these are archetype cards. So if you identify in a job title or with any kind of title, it may show up here. It may be a specific message on the card. It may be someone you're dealing with. It may be a job aspiration or even just an inspiration that you have, an idea that maybe never occurred to you. So this will be something that could be both validating or helpful, or both, whatever it is. Let it do positive things for you. So let's see what the collective needs to hear as far as archetypal cards today. What messages is the collective needing to hear today? You guys saw that one shoot out, and it's making me pick it up off the floor. So this one's called Gambler. Light attribute, willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you. Shadow attribute, relying on luck rather than hard work. So you may need to hear that. Gambler, you may be dealing with a gambler. Someone in your family likes to play cards. Someone in your family or in your circle. It doesn't have to be your family. But someone likes to gamble, or even like place bets, or maybe they go, oh, I bet this is gonna happen. Like they really like to weigh out situations. But the good thing about gamblers is that they are not afraid of risk. They're not afraid of fear. They're not afraid of just doing what they want based off of their intuition. And it looks really risky to other people who just follow their intuition because it's so quiet. It's not loud. It's just gentle guidance. So a lot of intuition about others could be when you receive the information, you're like, wow, that's like really heavy. Like if I do something about that, that's like, it feels like too much. But it's like spirit tells you so that you're warned before you're deep in it. And that's like one of those things where in the aftermath, you're like, oh man, I'd been getting messages about that situation like weeks or months ago. So some of you need to kind of take a gamble on your intuition and really be like, all right, my intuition's telling me something about this person. It's good, it's bad, whatever it is, you need to follow up or act on that, because your intuition will not steer you wrong. You can steer you wrong by just not listening to your intuition. So again, it's interesting that the Destroyer card comes out after I'm saying like you can steer yourself wrong by just not listening to intuitive guidance, to your gut feeling, or even just a random inner knowing. You're like, why am I receiving this about that person? I have not seen it yet, but I'm downloading an information. It's like you get that validation. Maybe the third party was literally another person, and you're like, I don't know who it is, but there's somebody. And you could be wrong about who the third party was, but that's besides the point. The fact that there was even a third party, if it's another person and that's like that crossed your boundary, that's that. They crossed your boundary. Listen to some of these things, like really listen to yourself. I'm going to read Destroyer now, finally. It says light attributes, releasing what is potentially destructive, preparing for new life. The shadow attribute says intoxication with destructive power, destroying others' dreams or potential. Now, I've been channeling saboteurs, like people who have the intent of sabotaging what's good for you. They don't have what's good for themselves. They see good on others and they're like, why? Like they either want to be a part of it, and if they're not a part of it, they just rather see it destroyed, because it's just, some people just can't keep up. Some people can't. They can't. And when they can't, they want to see you can't. They want to see you not. So the healing element of the entire situation is just to be separated from anyone who causes this energy for you, because recently I received that if you vibe high, if you do really well for yourself, and then there's people surrounding you that don't do really well for themselves, you helping them brings you to their vibration. It brings you to their lower vibration. And as much as that feels like serving a purpose or doing something, you're removing from serving your purpose. You're helping someone who's in a low vibrational energy become a higher vibrational energy. And it's like, you can't do that for somebody else. They have to find the means to do that for themselves. A lot of the you seeing them vibe higher is just because they're taking your energy, and you're creating like a laziness or a lack, like, and they really need to see the loss of that energy because of how much you'd been helping them. It's actually destroying some elements in their journey. They won't be able to, they'll only be able to go so far because you have your own situations to deal with. So it's like, again, a reminder of, try not to place laziness on someone's journey by helping them too much. It's all right to help them. There's nothing wrong with helping them, but they themselves have to see it and be open to it, and like at XYZ surrounding it. Otherwise, you're going to pull up resentment because they didn't appreciate you. They didn't see you doing as much as you had been doing, because it's going to be masked by, they think they're doing all the work that they're supposed to be, but you're adding in some of the work, and then they get to take credit for it. So like, realize some of this with the destroyer energy. You could really destroy someone's journey by being too a part of it when you're not meant to be a part of the journey, or vice versa, someone being too a part of your journey when they're not meant to be, because maybe they would seek to destroy it. There are some individuals who were born sick, who were born in a lack situation and haven't broken their cycle for themselves, releasing what is potentially destructive, preparing for new life. Some of you need to create your new life, or are creating a new life, and it can only go so far because it keeps being shot down. Your ideas keep being shot down, or whatever you're releasing, it's maybe emotionally manipulating you, or something's manipulating you to where like you don't feel safe making a decision, whether it's a financial situation or an emotional situation. There's an attachment to fear, or an attachment to the situation itself. Maybe you have a lot of stability, but you don't want to lose the stability to actually get what you want. Some of you don't have enough stability to go after what you want. Whichever placement it is, you're placing yourself in a cycle by just being afraid, by not taking a risk on certain intuitive guidances that you are receiving, like you need a new job, or you need a new partner, you need a new something, right? A new, like a refreshing energy, or even just releasing. Even if you don't want something new and you want the same thing, but just maybe a new energy in the same thing, right? It doesn't have to be a completely new person, a completely new job, a completely new, like, you can't replace your blood family or anything like that, but you can find a vibe tribe. Just something about energy needs to be worked with here that would regenerate or rejuvenate, refresh what it feels like to be in your situation. It could be more self-motivating, more self-love, more affirmations, even. Now, you're responsible for yourself, right? You can take in all this work, but you can't force that work on somebody else. Even if they're around you all the time, and you know that they're going to come over and you're going to place on a podcast, or you're going to place on, like, no, like, it doesn't matter if it's on and around them. They can tune that out. Like, it's just going to exhaust you to have all these action points for another person, and then they're not even receiving everything. So, healer, light attributes: passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit, ability to help transform pain into healing. Shadow attributes: taking advantage of those who need help, failing to care for oneself. So some of you, maybe the shadow attributes really just highlighting, it's really out there for me. That's for one. So it's like, when you see someone else not doing well, you, rather than doing work on yourself, because the work you have on yourself is so much to do, it's just simpler to act like your life is together and show up for another. But it's like, don't be acting like your life is together. If it's not, it's not. You're going to be delaying your situation by lying to yourself and lying to others about where your life is or what your life is like. Avenger, light attributes, desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. The shadow attribute says, resorting to violence in the name of a cause, and then behind it, mediator. This is the back of the deck. Light attributes, gifts for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life, respect for both sides of argument, negotiating with ulterior motive or hidden agenda, either personally or professionally. So some of you have friends that think they know about a situation, and then they're just like trying to give out advice, but some of you don't even realize that their advice is biased. That their advice is out of their perspective. Say, for example, you're starting a new relationship or you have a crush on somebody, and then you ask your friend, maybe a friend of a similar sex or even like gender, or just someone who is in your space who knows where you've been or what you want. To some degree, they can only have an idea of that. You can only clearly, very specifically know what you want, but other people can have an idea. That's fine, right? So you open up to them, your friend or the person that you go to for advice. It could be professional help, I don't know. Just realize that mini advice, if not spiritual, if not intuitive, will be biased. If you are receiving something from another human, it's going to be out of their perspective. Just that's probably like the biggest message here with the mediator and avenger. Is like, you do have friends that want well for you, but their scope of it is so limited. Maybe they don't like your new person. Maybe they had a favorite relationship you were in or a favorite job you were at. They're going to try and push you towards what they want you to be. But it's like, be careful. Really know what you want and what you need in your life, and then hear advice, what is in alignment with that and what's not. And that's kind of an issue that happens maybe when we have maybe a problem in our relationship. They don't really see the problem the way that you do. They only hear out of your perspective. So maybe you had missing details when you were explaining it. So some of this is like, make sure that you're seeing not only your side, and that the person you go to advice for isn't only going to take your side as well. Because it's all right to be like, arguments will happen, fights will happen, disagreements will happen, right? And then you come rushing to your friend in a bad mood, and they just automatically go, well, you don't deserve to feel bad. This person's bad. This person's bad. This person's bad. Like, that's an automatic bias, because they're going to be like, I want you to feel good. This person's not making you feel good. They're an enemy now, right? In that conversation, they're an enemy. So be careful of these types of friends. That you need friends that are mediators, that will see both sides and not just one side. Or who will try and be as minimal with bias as possible and be as objective as possible. Some of you, though, are dealing with people who would see you having a hard time and then find ways to make that hard time worse. Especially if you speak a boundary surrounding it, or even clearly speak your struggle. That's a big thing on vulnerability. Vulnerability is such a sexy, open, intimate thing that you could have, especially with yourself. That is something that you should definitely have with yourself, being that vulnerable with yourself, being like, I am either this horrible person or I'm not, and I need to see it for real. Who am I, right? But it's like, when you have this vulnerability with another, You could really see who's in alignment, who's not. But if you are just not very clear with yourself, it's hard to then be that clear with another. So another message here could be that you've never seen from the other side before. It's always been your perspective. I'm right, I'm winning. You know, like, I have to win an argument. I have to be right in the argument. It's like, that's not at all how you should behave in a connection. When you're in a connection, if you are respectful of the other, you realize that their perspective is right as well, because that is how they lived it, not how you lived it. That's excluding anybody who would be a liar or, you know, anything like that, of course, but I'm just saying that with the assumption that most people kind of navigate their lives the best they can with what they have, and then fear gets in the middle of things, and it causes a ripple effect of, you're not doing this, and now you're over here doing this, but you're in pain now, and then your pain causes you to do this, which inflicts pain on another, and then that person inflicts pain back, maybe. I don't know, there's multiple cycles happening here, because one thing led to another and another and another, like a domino effect. And what to really do for your situations. Let me get some more archetypes, actually. Any other archetypes for my collective here? What else for the collective? We have the card Hero, Heroine. Passion for journey of personal empowerment. You guys are going on your journey nowadays. Escapism and false sense of heroism. So I don't think that really resonates with you guys with the false sense of heroism. I think that this card is out to either remind you of the hero in you, or also just to remind you that you have people who hold this position already, who are triumphant in the things that you want, and go to them for advice. Don't be going to someone who has a shit ass relationship for relationship advice. They're only gonna give you shit advice because their situation is shitty and they don't have the balls or shit to get themselves out. Look to your models, look to your heroes for advice, and see them actually how they are, victim and mentor. Some people victimize others in order to look like a hero. So be careful of that. You know, make sure that people didn't do a bad thing to receive what they have to make themselves look very heroic. Some people flex money they don't have, buying shit they can't afford, looking better than they are. Be careful of these types of people. The same falsehood they place on themselves, they'll place on you. So just make sure that when you're opening up with your vulnerability and, you know, like this next step in your journey, make sure that you're looking to mentors, looking towards people who are already walking a similar or very same path as what you're seeing for yourself. Then you can walk together, maybe hold hands, maybe, you know, carry each other when you feel weak. This is the type of energy you want outside or surrounding your situations, not just karma. You know, you don't want to leak your karma on somebody else or somebody else's karma to leak on you. You really need to be like servicing yourself. Do I need a mentor? Do I need to stop being a victim? Do I need to heal myself? Do I need to see who's destroying certain things in my life? Energy, plans, goals, ideas, thoughts, literally destroying items in your space, literally removing items from your space. Some of you deal with this. Some of you, if you have an extreme gambler, they're literally stealing and destroying things so they can have more money to do the shit that they need, so that they could have more money that they don't have. It's like all this stuff, it compounds. The more you ignore it and let it, it will compound. It gets worse. Your karma gets worse, or the karma for your person will get worse. Make sure you are separating yourself from the people who are seeing bad, because they really need to see it bad in order for them to know what's good, know what to do next. the more you let them kind of skirt on by, they're gonna continue skirting on by, and then they're gonna be codependent, or they're gonna be dependent on the help. They're gonna be too excuse me, they're gonna be too used to the help that they won't be able to help themselves. You don't want that for your person. You don't want that for yourself. Make sure that everyone that you are connecting with is an individual, that they can behave as an individual, that they don't need somebody to be with them all the time. It's really limiting to want to go somewhere and then you don't let yourself go there because your friend was busy or because your significant other was busy. Fuck that bullshit. I'm still gonna do what I want, and you should too. So like, just realize if you are that type of person or someone is like that, you need to leave them alone so they could figure that out, so they could learn that. And you're gonna see them continue a long cycle. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt, but then they may just come back to you and be like, you gave me just what I needed years ago, and now look at me, you know. So it's like, Virgin, some of you, this is all new energy. These are all new types of concepts. Maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirit, fear of intimate union. So maybe you really are dealing with a Virgin. Maybe you haven't seen something in your energy because they just never experienced something like you before, or vice versa. Maybe something about sex could be significant, or religion. Okay, because I'm picking up like Virgin Mary, but even though she's not actually out, that could be significant for you. Religion could be significant for you here. And shapeshifter, light attributes, skill at navigating through different levels of consciousness, ability to see potential in everything, projecting any image that serves your personal agenda in the moment. So be very, very, very careful of shapeshifters, people who change their mind or change their opinion real quick once they find out what the collective opinion is, or what an acceptable opinion would be, or like just something that, like, it's like, you don't want, it's like, for example, this would be like someone who would like say they're a big fan of a certain sports team, and then when that sports team loses, they're like, I'm not a fan anymore. I'm a fan of this new sports team or this other sports team, and it's just like, it's just because they won. Realize that is such a sensitive energy that if they're wishy-washy with that type of thing, they're going to be wishy-washy with you. So this is Karmic Situationship deck. This was made by the Aura Unicorn, but she's not the Aura Unicorn anymore. She's actually on Instagram as Alula Art. So I love that for her, because she's just on her own soul healing journey. So maybe she chose to do all these oracle cards, and then now she's doing more graphic design and more other like artistic things. So love that for her. But I got this deck so many months ago, and I'm so happy it's here to help me channel karmic situations, because it's all about karmic situationships. So this deck is lovely for this reading. So we need messages for the highest good of what's going on in the collective. So repeating patterns, do you see them? Stop. So love that about breaking cycles. You make me hate myself. Fuck you. It's in reverse though. So I think that some of you have really opened up a portal of how to love yourself, or how, like, showing your person how to love themselves, or showing the situation more love than what has occurred before. I think it's just like there's more to it than, there's just more to it. Breakup to makeup, reverse though. So some of you don't want this person, but some of you do. Breakup to makeup is like, the situation couldn't have been seen fully until this, like I said, some people can't really see fully until they lose what they have. It's awful that it has to come to that, but If they didn't appreciate you, they didn't appreciate you. If they were sabotaging, they were sabotaging you. It's like, that's the very thing, is like their actions spoke for them, even if they were lying over their actions, or even if they didn't say anything, or do, like, even if they didn't do anything, the action of not doing anything is still an action. You know, they chose to not do anything. Lessons must be learned for this twin flame to work. Inability to end relationship. Probably the other third party, or like whatever was causing the situation to be all messed up, is because the cycle couldn't end somewhere. Either multiple cycles couldn't end, maybe third party relationships didn't end, maybe there was a lot of loose ends. I'm hearing loose ends, that, well, so maybe there was like, again, flirtationships, or even you guys, there was sex in between some of these connections. Maybe there was nude photos sent. Maybe there's all sorts of details, right? All of these third parties, loose ends, inability to end connections that don't work for you. This creates more chaos. When a situation ends, everything associated with it has to end as well. When you make that type of decision, it has to. And I'm barely learning this lesson myself with a very specific ex-boyfriend, where I was very connected to all of their family. And I realized that my biggest struggle with being able to move on is because I'm literally seeing remnants of the one person I said I don't really care for anymore. So it's like, inability to end relationship is these other related things that could be it. Like, it's like, why do you still care about so-and-so and so-and-so's this? It's like, you're gonna, of course, you're human, you're gonna care endlessly. Or, you know, if you have a good heart, that's how it's gonna be, right? And so, but they don't deserve that anymore. Your new situations don't deserve that. See the other side. Like, as much as you will endlessly, like, your heart is so sweet, but it's like your new person doesn't deserve your past to keep resurfacing itself. It's triggering. It makes your person or the situation feel like just another, like that there's not sacredness with it. Say, for example, you go and meet your person's mom and dad or family, and it's like, it just kind of feels like not as sacred as it. You get what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, because you already have met like, yeah, like, you're gonna meet many partners' parents, but it's like, your past partner's parents or significant others or connections, they're still important to you. And that separates, like, not separates, it more so spreads out the importance that you can place on your new connections, on, like, your new life, what you're trying to build. Some things fell apart because better things need to fall into place, but then if you never cleaned up the mess from what fell apart, how can you properly build up something new if there's still all of this crumble everywhere? Oh my God. So it's like, get the fuck out of my life. Why won't you leave? That's why you can't, that's why your person doesn't leave your thoughts, because you still have objects and people around you that remind you of them. Maybe your person's still entertaining certain things, or you're still entertaining certain things. You need to clear that shit out. Maybe you guys don't have the self-esteem or confidence to truly ride on your own and truly focus on your own, like, really get your goals met. You really rather help other people meet their goals, and then what? You didn't meet your goals, and then what? You're going to be wallowing in self-pity after giving all this energy out to other people instead of yourself. A lot of you maybe have continued in this cycle of helping others with their goals, and then you see them meet their goals, and then suddenly you're like, well, how'd they get there and I'm still here. My addiction for you is not healthy. Some of you are just addicted to helping people instead of helping yourself. Again, stop with that. Help yourself. Get yourself where you want to be. Then you can join your friends. Then you can join your friends that leveled up. You help them and they love that. They appreciate you for that. But then it's like the appreciation stops at some point because you didn't level up too. You're not on the same level too. And now you're holding them back. Now you're stuck. Now you're trying to get them stuck. And it's like, it's not healthy. None of that, none of what you were doing was healthy. You helped people too much, or people helped you too much, whatever it is. Just wait for me to make up my mind. Then we can see where this goes. So maybe your person needs to make a decision on who they want, or you need to decide on who you want. And not be so afraid of rejection, not be so afraid of all the things that come in the middle, not being afraid of ending things that don't align, like just doing all this. I am torn because I want the both of you. Ew, leave this situationship, heal and grow. Okay, if someone's trying to choose between you and another, make the decision for them, because they're never gonna make a decision if they're like always juggling. Some of you, the card is literally in this deck, but it didn't come out. But it's like some of you really are dealing with someone who wants their cake and eat it too. Like that phrasing of just like, it's just unfairness. Verbally abusive. Someone is verbally abusive when they get caught. Someone gets really mad when they get caught. Any mention of it just gets, the situation goes 0 to 100. You know, you definitely know. This is that's the validation for you right there. You guys deserve better, babes. You guys deserve better than being in some of this karma. Love shouldn't hurt this fucking bad. Love, it should be easy. But if someone's undecided on love, that's when it's hard. So let's shuffle out a little bit of tarot. See what's up for the collective in tarot. What's the collective? What's good for the collective? What is their story? Tell me more about their story and help with intuitive guidance. 5 of Wands. Let's get out some more messages on what's going on with the collective. 7 of Cups. All right, I'm going to have it like that, and let's see what comes out now. Okay, so shuffling out 5 of Wands and then 7 of Cups. There's resistance surrounding the choices that you want to make, or the choices that your person wants to make. The resistance is because there needs to be allowance for flow. Make a decision and just let everything else flow about it. Don't second guess your connection to the decision. I'm getting that with the 2 of Cups and this 6 of Cups, these 2 reverse and the Hermit reverse. It's like you have a decision when you are by yourself, and then when it comes to actually making the judgment call, someone's perspective seems to come in, and then you're left like not feeling strong or independent, or like that. I don't know, you feel, it's like this 9 of Pentacles is concerning for me, seeing 9 of Pentacles reverse, because 9 of Pentacles is this, you got it going on, you got it figured out, but it's like you do get it figured out, but then maybe someone's opinion or judgment, or what someone says or does changes your mind somehow, and then you're left with something. And it's like you really don't know what to do, because it's like you want to make the people around you happy, but you're not happy, and it's like You have to choose one. Do you want to continue making other people happy, or do you want to make yourself happy for once, for finally, forever? You know, because making other people happy, that's only temporary joys that only last as long as those people are around. So something that's more everlasting is the love and the compassion and the efforts and the energy and the things that you give to yourself, the decisions you make for yourself, what's best for you. And then, you know, once you've solidly chosen what's best for you, you're like, okay, this person is in alignment with that, that person's gonna flow with you. If they don't flow with your best intentions and your best choices, they're not what's best for you. They are not what's best for you. If you say holding this boundary is what's best for me, they cross that boundary, fuck them. It doesn't matter who the hell they are. You clearly spoke your boundary and they mistreated that. They disrespected that. They do not respect you. Their action showed you. Don't let what they say give you a new perspective or be like, oh, I was wrong. No. Get in your Nine of Pentacles energy. Get in your protecting energy. Get in this, I deserve to feel high and above. These low vibrational people need to be eating out of your hands. Eating the shit they fed out of your hands. You pick their shit up and you feed that to them. Ace of Pentacles, Empress. You create the world that you want. Fuck this imbalance. Magician, manifest your journey. Do it. Piss these karmic people off. Do it. I dare. I love that. Inner power, deepening reverse, sanctity, divine abundance reverse, intuition. You guys haven't received your divine abundance yet because you need to follow your intuition. You need to get deeper in your power. You need to be vibing alone and vibing with your inspiration and mentors. Metamorphosis, trust the process and be patient. Becoming cannot be rushed. Change is beautiful. Power, call upon the elements. Focus your intentions. The greatest dragon is within you. Surrender to your full power. Your life is calling for you to step into your full power rather than playing it small. You've been playing it small to satisfy these other people because they're intimidated by you. They've always been trying to block your shit. They like all these karmic situations. It's a ripple effect of people keeping their bias. So-and-so and so-and-so's best friend or so-and-so and so-and-so's mom, like whatever, they're going to be biased to so-and-so and so-and-so, not to you. And so it's like playing it small is like you kept these people around and like because they're small to you. You still care about them, but they're small to you. It's intimidating. They don't want you to move on because they want you to be with that person that is like family, right? But if you're not in their family anymore, you're not in that relationship anymore, those people are small. You can't be playing it small no more. You gotta surrender. These are the things you need to surrender. Surrender your full power to your full power. Like unlock it, be in your full power. Realize that you don't have to have things around anymore that don't serve you. You don't have to be having the same problems that you always been having. You can release those problems. You can be in control of problems. You can be in control of the solutions. You can be in control of who's in your life. Everything about all the elements of your life is in your hands. It's just taking the smaller big steps to get like certain placements into play, right? So if you want to move locations, like move a home, start saving money, start looking, start applying, start like surrender your obsessive thinking. Obsessive thinking is like going so far out on a concept that is unrealistic. If you're obsessing about a person or situation, turn the dilemma over to spirit. Doing so will help bring you clarity or even solve the problem. Surrender frustration. Frustration doesn't open doors. The key to resolving a dilemma or dissolving a block is to take a breath, center yourself, and regroup so you may approach the situation more calmly. Surrender to rest and sleep. Prevent burnt out. Slow down, honor your need for quiet time and peaceful sleep to rejuvenate your mind, body, spirit. Surrender fear of change and surrender addictions. The universe is reminding you that you are cared for always, whether you're afraid of a change in your job, your health, or a relationship, or if you fear aging or death, repeat the affirmation, I have faith that all is well. Surrender addictions. Whether you're addicted to substances, food, people, sex, or overworking, take action to begin to heal the addiction and replace it with healthier alternatives. So for those that have an addiction to food, start an addiction to the other energy, exercising. If you have an addiction to being around people, exercise the opposite energy. Don't be around people. If you have an addiction to sex, this is going to be a different energy though. I'm not saying to be abstinent. You can if you want to. If you think that would benefit you, you could be abstinent. You can just not have sex. But another additive thing you could do is, rather than having sex is creative. Sex, it's you bring in the potential of creating a life form. If you think divine masculine, divine feminine, and I'm not trying to be I'm not anti-LGBTQ plus. I am very gender open, whatever you take. So, but what I'm saying is that with the baby making, okay, that's like sex, right? That would be performing sex acts, would be potentially performing baby making acts. But it's like, that's creating life. But you don't have to create life. You could create art. You could create whatever you want. Make a business, create art, create a new path. It could be something you've never thought you would truly venture into, but you have been maybe pushed towards it a little bit. Your heart space calls it. And if you overwork, definitely take a break. Detachment, this is your last message. With detachment, you finally feel whole inside, with or without the fulfillment of a particular desire. Ironically, that's often when it's fulfilled. So if you want something, you have to kind of get into the energy of being okay without it, because you are okay without it. You have to be grateful for what you have right now in order for more to come. So with all that, thank you so much for being a part of the reading. That was all your messages this time. So this was Magic with Melly. You guys are magic. I am Melly. And you guys take care until next time. Goodbye.